Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to another episode of B&B Hockey Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Bloxel, with my co-host, Mr. Matt Balzer. Today, we're going to get into just some recaps of all the NHL action from around the league that happened yesterday, including John Tavares' first goal in Toronto. But we're also going to break down a little bit more about the Vancouver Edmonton game and what the excitement is all around Vancouver today. There's a buzz in this city like I haven't seen in years. So, Matt, welcome to the show, and why don't we jump right into it and start talking about some of the things that popped out for you last night around the league.
Yeah, so John Tavares in his debut had 2 goals, 3 points, and Mitch Marner also had a goal and 3 points. So those two guys have already getting that chemistry going in the Craftsville game or whatever.
Draft Hockeyville game, yeah, absolutely. Both
Okay.
Marner and Tavares definitely look great. So.
Yeah. So if you're a Leafs fan, well, I guess it's the history in the making is already starting, or whatever, if you want to go with that. But Jack Eichel scored a beauty goal in Pittsburgh. I posted the GIF on our Facebook page, but sheesh, the jersey number change, I guess, has paid dividends, and he looks like he can really break out this year for maybe 80+ points. Ilya Kovalchuk in his debut played just a little over 22 minutes with Kopitar and had 1 assist. I think in the early morning game, Jake DeBrusk had 2 goals against the Flames. The Flames icing another big full NHL lineup there, so that's good for NHL skill. I know Matthew Tkachuk didn't play. I guess he's dealing with just a little minor lower body injury, but he should be fine. Also, in the Vegas Colorado game, Paul Stastny had 2 assists, and Eric Brandstrom, their big defenseman prospect, had a goal and 2 points. Also, if you're a Carolina fan, Yevgeny Svechnikov had a goal and 2 points, along with Lucas Wallmark, who had a goal and 2 points. So they have a lot of young prospects coming up there, starting to produce. And lastly, Jeff Carter had 2 goals, and Alex Galchenyuk had 2 goals for Arizona. So starting off on the right note there. For Galchenyuk, hopefully he can have an explosive first year in Arizona and can get back to like that 30-goal range that he had in Montreal.
Yeah, I think Galchenyuk is primed to not only just surpass his 50 points from last year. I think he had 51 last year. I see him potentially getting over 60, 65 points as a top-line centerman for the Arizona Coyotes. Jack Eichel's goal was definitely highlight-worthy. It was a great goal. Also, in that same game, Rasmus Dahlin stood out, showed some dangles, especially on the power play, showed why he was taken first overall in the NHL draft. He definitely impressed me. And why don't you guys leave a like or a comment below on who impressed you, who stood out in the games last night. And we're going to break into, of course, the game that we both watched in full, the Edmonton Oilers versus the Vancouver Canucks. And around Vancouver, everybody was, you don't want to jump on this too early. We're trying not to get too excited because it is just preseason. It is just one game. But, man, Vancouver's buzzing this morning because Elias Pettersson just absolutely had a great game last night. He finished with 1 assist, but he should have had at least 3 or 4 points the way, if his line mates could have scored. But, man, this young kid has some skill, has some talent. What stood out for you last night, and how would you describe this guy?
Man, this guy's one special player. Like, just unbelievable to watch. He had like that no-look backhand pass to Godolphin. which would have been a goal if it wasn't for Talbot's huge desperation glove save coming back. But just the little things in tight. He had one nice dangle on Ryan Strome on one of the power plays where Strome got right in close and he just did like this little toe drag back, and then Strome just broke his ankles and just slid right by him. Also on the 2-on-1s, he had a couple nice setups, but he also kept the goalie guessing in the second period where he actually held on to the puck and was able to cut from his backhand to his forehand for a nice scoring chance. And, of course, the one-timers. Man, he can shoot the puck. In the second period, he had one nice one-timer where Talbot just got his toe on it. Other than that, it would have been a goal. But, man, every time he was on the ice, he was just exciting to watch. But yeah, he was the number one guy that I was most excited about.
Yeah, he also had another play where him and Chris Tanev were battling behind their own goal, and he was able to get possession of the puck. And literally, as he got possession, Barchi took a couple quick strides, and he passed it off the boards right on the tape of Barchi up at center ice for a breakaway. And Barchi unfortunately couldn't put it in, but just little quick things like that got me excited. I really, I watched his face-offs. He did very well in his face-offs. I don't know what his final stats were, but he seemed to win a lot of the important ones. And he also looked not out of place in the defensive zone coverage in his own end. And, not one time did we see him get physically overpowered during that game. So a lot of things to be excited about, especially since he's still getting used to a new team. He's getting used to playing with new players. He's getting used to playing in a new city. He's getting used to playing on a new ice surface that's smaller than what he's used to. And he wanted the puck, and you can see how fast this guy's learning. You can see how high his hockey IQ is, and how he potentially is going to be a real special player. I mean, Canuck fans could only watch the power play last night and know what's going to be on the left side with Brock Besser during the regular season, having Pettersson on the right side, and next year having Quinn Hughes at the top. I mean, this young Canucks team is shaping up to be a really good team in the next couple of years. But outside of Pettersson, who else stood out for you for Vancouver, or maybe who was a disappointment for you for Vancouver?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Nikolai Goldobin really stood out for me. He played on the right side with Pettersson and Berti on the left wing. That line in general was the best from the start of the game to the end of the game. But Goldobin, I had actually strictly just thought of him as a left winger. So moving him to that right side, him and Pettersson got instant chemistry. Goldobin also had a goal in the third period there, but he could have had at least 3 goals with some of the chances that he had. Just a little bit of bad luck with Talbot making that one save, and then at the end of the third period, if it wasn't for Russell just getting just a bit of a stick before he was able to corral the puck, he would have had another one. But him and Bo Horvat was on fire as well, especially playing down low on the power play. It seems like he's taking some film from James Van Riemsdyk with the way he's played that bottom half of the wall, where you get that classic JBR. He just takes both of his shoulders down and does like that quick inside move to the net, and he even pulled out the between the legs move where Talbot made a nice save, and on the rebound he put it off the post. But yeah, he was great. He went 16 and 9 in the face-off circle. To follow up on the Pettersson in the face-off, he went 50%, 4 and 4. But the 2 face-offs that he took in the defensive zone, he won both of them, which is important. So most of the face-offs in the offensive zone, but he was at 50%, which is good because to test that strength in the circle, and then I think having a guy like Jay Beagle on the team, that's really important to help him on his face-offs.
Well, of course, Coach Manny Malhotra, I'm sure, will work with him on draws. One of the best that has played over the last 10 years in the NHL. For me, Jake Virtanen had a bit of jump in his game yesterday. I wasn't too impressed with his line mates, unfortunately. Leipzig seemed to be pushed around a little too easily off the puck, and Sam Gagner seemed to hold on to the puck a bit. But Virtanen, he's got incredible speed, threw a pretty good check and hit the crossbar one time. If he was playing with a little bit more skilled guys, I think he could potentially generate more offense as well. He's the guy that stood out for me for Vancouver, outside, of course, of the guys you already talked about. Another guy, I'm going to talk about the Edmonton Oilers for a sec, because Ty Rattie, man, if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, you've got to be excited about this guy. I know he played a little bit with McDavid last year. He looked fantastic last night, getting 2 goals. Also, young player Jesse Puljujarvi looked really well. He looked really good as well, and he's got some size to him that I guess I haven't really paid attention to how big he is. But Puljujarvi is actually he's got some pretty decent size. And of course, power forward Jujhar Khaira looked fantastic for Edmonton. Just powerful down the middle. The Surrey boy is definitely going to play either third or fourth line minutes for Edmonton. Looks like he's definitely improved again over last year, which will help out the Edmonton Oilers. Anybody on Edmonton stand out for you as well? And then let me know who maybe disappointed you from the Vancouver side.
Yeah. I think you touched on the 2 guys that really stood out for the Oilers. Just to get to the Canucks, the guys that I wish I could have seen a little more of, Louis Eriksson. Played over 19 minutes, but if you're watching the game, you barely noticed him. He was playing with Horvat and Jonathan Dahlen, who also didn't really stand out at all. I think having a lot of power play time affected Dahlen's performance, just because he was on that second unit and not on that number 1 unit.
Well, and I would think a lot of Louis Eriksson's minutes were penalty killing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that and Ben Hutton, he had an all right game. Defensively, he had like two turnovers that led to goals. That fourth one, especially when that puck's coming down, you got to know that Oilers guy is coming down right in front of you. Usually guys are able to corral the puck and move it quickly, but he should have known that you got to bat it away or over to your defensive partner, because it wouldn't have been a hand pass in your own zone. And then I believe it was the third goal where he's battling behind the net and he lost the puck, and then it ended up coming out into the slot area and the Oilers scored. So he did play over 26 minutes, and he was Green's number 1 man on the back end yesterday. Offensively, I thought he was all right. He got a few shots on goal, and it was on that top power play unit. So offensively, I thought he was all right, but defensively, he was a -3. So I'm hoping he can keep trending in the right direction, because it's like you see that rookie season he had, and you see what he could be, and you want him to get back to that. And it was just a bit disappointing, especially when the Canucks need the points from the back end, because all the points were forwards again, and even the Oilers, at least they had a couple points from their back end, because that's where the offense starts, and getting the puck to the forwards. But yeah, hopefully he can build off at least on the offensive zone and continue to improve his own end.
Well, Travis Green is dressing a really young squad tonight as they play a young Calgary Flames team, because most of their players or regulars are in China wrapping it up there on their way home. So for Calgary, they're going to have a lot of rookies tonight. Vancouver is going to go with a younger squad. Why don't you give us the lineup, and we'll wrap it up with that.
All right. Yeah, so the top line will be Reed Boucher, Brendan Gaunce, and Cole Lind. Lind, I'll be interested to see. He was really good at the Young Stars tournament, and playing with guys like Boucher, who has that really good snapshot, and Gaunce, who has shown that he has offensive ability in the American League, and finally got a couple of goals last year for the Canucks. The second line will be Brendan Leipzig, Adam Gaudette, and Lucas Jasek. Leipzig playing in back-to-back games. Gaudette will be the big guy on that line that I'm interested to see, just because I think he is NHL ready, and hopefully him and Leipzig can get some good chemistry going. The third line will be Petrus Palmu, Brandon Sutter, and Zach McEwen. Sutter will be the biggest veteran of the forwards playing tonight. And Petrus Palmu, this guy, he continues to impress every time I see him on the ice. So I'm very intrigued to see how he does against the young Flames group. And the fourth line is Jonah Gadovich, Wacey Hamilton, and Carter Banks. Hamilton and Banks will be down in Utica at the start of the year, but Gadovich, I'm hoping he can move up the lineup a little bit as the game goes on. But hopefully he gets in a fight or throws a few good hits tonight. The back end will be Alex Edler and Jalen Chatfield as the top pairing. Second pairing will be Ashton Sautner, who's also playing in back-to-back games, and Eric Goodbranson. This is a huge year for Goodbranson with that new contract, and hopefully he can stay healthy for the entire year so he can actually start to judge his entire play for a full season. And the third pairing is Olli Juolevi and Derek Pouliot. Juolevi making his preseason debut. I cannot wait to see how this guy transitions this year into the NHL. And for the goaltenders, Thatcher Demko will play the first two periods, and Michael DiPietro should be playing the third.
Well, that's the starting lineup for tonight. I hope everyone enjoys the game if you're watching it or enjoying your favorite team's game, whether it's already started or later tonight. Remember to like and comment on our post, share us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. This has been B&B Hockey Talk, and we'll be back again tomorrow with another episode. Thanks so much for joining us, and we always appreciate your support.